All right, hello and welcome everyone to the first call of the Fast Track Your Business. This series is like really very close to my heart, and I think this will be the fifth or sixth time that I'm conducting this. Sometimes I conduct drawings in a year, or sometimes it's just once a year. But everyone who has attended this has created so much in their lives. And I also have participants who will be choosing this for the third time. So no matter how many times you've done that, and even if you've attended a Fast Track Your Business mentorship series earlier, every call is different. Every year it's different. We don't really touch upon the same topic, even though it's mentioned, the topics are mentioned already in the mentorship, the page on my website. But it all also depends on your questions and what's required. And so this will be a 6-month mentorship series where there'll be a call with me every Monday morning, basically for you to be able to kickstart your whole week in a total creation mode. So, people sort of don't really look forward to Monday mornings because they're like, oh my God, there's so much of workload pending and so much to do. But believe me, when you attend these calls, it just sort of supercharges you to start choosing and showing up so much more throughout the week. And like how we all go to the gym and we need somebody there who's constantly having our back, pushing us to choose more and more and more. Sometimes, actually, most of the time, all of us really know what's good for us. We know what all we are capable of doing and creating and achieving. But a lot of times we tend to get really complacent. I mean, I'm one of them. And this also sort of motivates me to choose so much more so that that's what I can actually give also or pass on to the participants of this mentorship call. Um, so there'll be like a masterclass with me. The first call is usually the masterclass where we'll be talking about a lot of things. The second class is also a lot of information. Plus, I would also be taking on your questions, where exactly each one of you is in your level of business, what it is that you're choosing, where are you guys stuck. There'll be a lot of clearings because this is an Access approved mentorship series. So there will be a lot of access clearings also. And then there'll be energy pulls. The third week will be all about energy pulls, different type for your business, for money flows, for better relationships, and whatever else that you're choosing. And the fourth week of every month will be a one-on-one call with me, like a personal facilitation. So this is what it is. Every week, it'll be the similar thing. And so we'll also have a private Facebook group where I'll be uploading all the videos of the call. And I will be sending you the audio of this call in Google Drive, like you can just download it. And there'll also be PDFs with all the clearings. So it is a very comprehensive, very detailed call. And believe you me, the amount that I'm charging does not even do justice to the kind of content that you'll be receiving from me. But what else is possible? And I think this will be the last time I'll be offering it at this pricing. In case you guys are thinking maybe some other time I'll join, yeah, you're sure most welcome, but that'll be at a different pricing. Now, at this moment, I just want you to sort of take a moment and be present with what it is that you're really looking to choose in your business. I mean, irrespective of whether you're choosing to join this or not, like just be present. Where do you think you're stuck? What is it that's going on with each one of you? What is it that you truly like to create in your business, in your life, and everywhere else? And from that moment, without going into any judgment, what is it that you'd truly like to achieve and change for yourself? And if there was a magic wand, what would you actually truly choose? So that's where I want you to be really present and ask that, have that demand in your world to choose that. Okay, now when I'm asking about putting in that demand in your universe, so if you learn to be as demanding as the ocean, or maybe as uncontrollable as the wind, what could you bring into existence or change out of existence for yourself? So, like, do you even access the amount of energy, that much amount of energy? Do you even access that? Or do you just try to be safe and not scary and, uh, you know, go into hiding? A lot of us, we are not willing to be too much because sometimes you're not prepared what to do, like what will happen. Most of us are very scared of being too much. And what are you scared about? What will happen if you're too much, right? Of course, you're going to be judged. And so, what if you're judged? How many of you would rather be in hiding and keep yourself small and limited because you don't want to be judged? So, what if you can actually choose to be an invitation instead of stopping yourself by trying to fit in with what others want you to be? Like people tend to project their projections on you, their thought forms on you, and they obviously will not be very happy to see you choosing more. But are you here to live your life for others, or you're here to live your life for yourself? What is it that you truly, truly like to choose? So we'll be talking a lot about all of that. I will be giving you certain um, sort of points and some sort of insights as to what else can be chosen. Okay. Now, is being safe and not scary, is that profitable? Not really, right? You're not really creating anything. Or is it controllable? It is, of course, controllable. So what you're doing is instead of choosing to make your business profitable, you're choosing to control it, to limit it, because you're not willing to be too much, right? So where do you try to make yourself fit in rather than being that leader who inspires new reality? So what permission can you give yourself in this year from this moment onwards to try stuff that you would normally not give yourself permission to try? Okay. So, and how many of you are even asking for something big to show up? Do you even ask enough? Do you even ask big enough? So, what do you want to even ask for in this year that you've never ever given yourself permission to ask? And what would change if you do? So, those moments when you're not exactly lost, but you are standing at a crossroad, knowing that something has to change, but really unsure about what it is that has to change. That's what we will be talking about, where there'll be a lot of questions. There'll be, when I'm facilitating you guys, there's also, I'm able to tap into a lot of things that are unspoken, things that you not even know exist, uh, don't even realize what it is that's exactly stopping you. So we'll be able to access all of that and make you realize, okay, what else is required. So this particular business mentorship is about transformation, about redefining your path. It's about making little tiny small shifts that will lead to a completely different life. Okay. And these weekly calls will also be a series of reflections, almost like little letters written to that part of you that's really ready to wake up. Okay, each call would be a reminder, a nudge, a push in the right direction. And that's what my invitation to you is here with these calls. Now, when we're talking about little things, and when I spoke about the masterclass, so let's talk about a few questions or few insights that I'll be sharing right now on today's call that will give you time to reflect and see what it is that you're really truly looking to create in your life and where it is that you're sort of stuck. Okay. So point number one, okay, change begins the moment you decide it does. Okay, not next week, not when you feel ready, not when the stars align. That particular moment when you decide to pivot, you already have. That's when things just start shifting. Okay, like for example, we tend to wait for external permission to change, but that's just delay tactic. Whose permission are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Where are we trying to be perfect so that it doesn't really so that nobody gets to point a finger at us, nobody gets to judge us. We don't need a new year or a Monday or a sign from the universe. Okay, change isn't something that happens to you, it is something that you have to choose. And if you look at it, do you realize how often you might have stalled your own growth? Like just waiting for the right time, but what if now is the right time? What if the right time is now, this very moment? What is it that you'd really like to create, and what is it that you would really like to start? So let me give you a very simple example. During COVID, I was doing a lot of work. I was doing a whole lot of housework and also conducting a lot of classes because suddenly everybody had a lot of free time to, just upgrade themselves or whatever, or choose new classes and attend more classes. So I was conducting a lot of classes, and and it used to be different time zones because there were people from different parts of the world. Sometimes I would start basically South America and also different parts of the world. So we had to adjust the timing based on that, like the European class participants, the South American class participants, and so on. And then I was also doing a lot of housework, like literally from cooking to cleaning to everything, and conducting these workshops. So I really did not get to rest at all and hardly any time to think. But I was enjoying every moment. And I did that for 4 months. Till one day when I realized, hold on, what do I love about this? And this is really not fun because I am just cooking, cleaning, conducting classes. All I want to do is just conduct classes. Who wants to just sit at home and cook and clean and all? And I was like, okay, this shit ends now. I don't care how it shows up, but this is it. I'm done with it, universe. This shit ends now. And you won't believe the very next day there was a maid who showed up at my doorstep and she was looking for work. And I was like, wow, that was quick. So, when you decided that when you choose something, it has to drag on or things will not change, that particular moment, when you decide to pivot, when you make that choice, is the game changer and everything starts changing. So you have to look at what it is that's keeping you stuck, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's with your money flows or health or whatever it is, what needs to change, and just step into that. That's a choice that you're making, and just have to step into that. Even if you don't know how to, it's just the thought and the determination and the demand in your world is when pathways start opening up and things start showing up. Okay. Now, the second one would be you don't have to know the whole plan, just the next step. So for most of us, one of our biggest struggle has always been overthinking. We want certainty, we want guarantee, but transformation actually doesn't come with a blueprint. Okay. And one, like, if you have to compare it, if I have to give an example, you can compare it to driving at night. Okay. So you don't see the whole road when you're driving at night. You don't see the whole road. It's not the entire road is not, or the entire path is not lit up. Okay. You just see only where what your headlights, the car headlights reveal, right? And that's enough because you know immediately what you're doing. How it's going to show up in the future is not your problem. Okay? You don't have to figure out the entire journey. You just have to take the next step. What we'll be talking a lot about all of these things throughout the duration. The next 6 months will be literally where you'll be touching the ground running, with everything that you're choosing. So, the third point, the life you want is on the other side of the life that you're settling for. And this, when I first heard this, it really hurt because, and in the best way, right? It's like if I did not have to sugarcoat anything. If you want something different, you have to stop choosing what isn't working. Okay? So we complain about our circumstances while clinging to them like a safety net. You want something to change, but you are so scared to move out of your comfort zone. You'll keep holding on to and clinging on to all those things that are not contributing to you, all those people who do not contribute to you, because you feel there's no other way out, or this is my life, this is the only thing that I've been dished out, and this is the only thing that I need to deal with. No, you don't have to deal with that. There is so much more in life that is waiting for you to be discovered by you. There's so much more that life has to offer to you. You just have to step into choosing it. You have to trust yourself so dynamically and take that step. Okay. So, like literally the real change, like you don't be wanting to change a lot of things, but the real change means walking away from the habits, the relationships, the mindsets that are keeping us small. Okay. So a good question to ask would be, what am I still holding out onto out of fear? Because the truth is, we can't reach for something better while gripping onto what's holding us back. So, what's the value of choosing this? What do I love about this kind of life, and what what would it take for me to change that? Now, I'll give you another example. A few years ago, I was going through a lot of issues with my friends. So I was also dealing with a lot of gaslighting from a particular mentor, and it wasn't easy. And it went on for 3 years. And then anybody I would like, even people I considered who were my friends, but I thought the moment they would come in contact with this person who was gaslighting, they would change their opinion about me. And I was like, gosh, that's really, it used to really hurt. And then you can't possibly keep going to every single person and saying, hey, whatever that person is talking about me is all false and these are all false narratives and wrong stories and stuff. You're not here to, you know, it's not possible to just change their mindset because now there is a seed of doubt. Okay. And it took a lot of strength, a lot of courage for me to stand up for myself and be that energy where I was like, I don't care who thinks what about me. I know the truth. I know my conscience is clear. And if people are hell bent on believing the worst of me, then all the best. And I don't, and people who know me, who truly care, know me for who I am. And that's enough for me. But I was also going through, like, as I mentioned, with a lot of issues with my friends. Till one day when I was driving back home and I was I was just thinking to myself, and I was like, you know what? Even if there's nobody there for me, I'm going to be there for myself. Even if nobody else has my back, I will have my back. And I can't begin to tell you that was such a game changer because immediately that energy that I was being was very different. And all those friends who were trying to be weird and nasty and all suddenly started seeing me as a very different person and started choosing to be with me, which was really interesting because it all started from that space of, trusting myself and not looking for validation from anyone else. So when even as a in your business, when you're interacting with people, with clients and everything, the first thing that you have to keep in mind is how do you see yourself? What is it? Do you even trust yourself enough? Do you value yourself? Do you know and own and claim and acknowledge how good you are in your work? Because when you own all of that, that is what your client sees. And when they're interacting with you, they just know that they can trust you. They know you will deliver. They know you will do the job well. And they just know that this is it. Right? So it all begins with trusting yourself. Now, the fourth point. I will take on your questions a little later. Let me just, there are about 10 points of stuff that I need to just sort of share with you guys first, and eventually I'll take on your questions. So, the fourth one is self sabotage, is just self protection in disguise. Now, you'll be like, what do you mean by that? Why would I self sabotage? I'm just trying to protect myself. So, why would I keep sabotaging stuff for myself? How many of you keep self-sabotaging a lot of things? Like I used to for the longest time, if someone would ask me for a class and I would talk them out of choosing a class with me and I would say, hey, there are these people who are really, really good. Because I used to consider them really, really good. But somewhere in the bargain, I was like, oh, maybe I still have a lot to learn. Maybe I do not know enough. But those are my own self-judgments about myself. But those self-judgments was making me push people, my clients away, right? That does not really create. So, how many of you have been doing that? If you want, you can just keep writing on messages also in case you have any questions. We will take it up a little later. So, when you look at the fact that self sabotage is just self protection in disguise, that's literally when I heard that, that was just that was a perspective shift that I needed. Like, we tend to think of sabotage as laziness or procrastination or lack of discipline. But self-sabotage isn't random. It's literally your mind trying to keep you safe in the only way that it knows how to. Okay. So maybe, like, for example, you might avoid opportunities because failure feels like a threat. So you will not go in for and choose new opportunities or choose new ventures or new things because what if you fail? Okay. Um, a lot of times maybe you push people away because connection feels really heavy or risky. Okay, what if they don't like you? What will happen? What if they say something to you? Or maybe you stay small because success means stepping into the unknown. And how many of you are really, really scared of unknown? Like, when I first heard all of this, I literally started thinking, and I eventually stopped being so hard on myself. So instead of fighting my resistance, I started understanding it. Like, what is it that I'm hesitating for? What is it that's stopping me? And the moment you understand it, the moment you become aware of it, I won't ask you to understand something because that means standing under that universe. The moment you become aware of something as to why you might be stopping yourself, you have the power to change it. So that's what it is. Okay. Now, the fifth point is growth is uncomfortable. Okay. And that's the point. Like, these calls will not be offering any kind of feel good motivation that lets you off the hook. Okay. Throughout the 6 months, it won't be like a feel good thing. Oh, yeah, I know how good you are and stuff. No, it'll be pushing you to the limit, literally pushing you off the cliff and watching you fall and watching you stand up and climb up the cliff again and pushing you down the cliff again. It's about making you so uncomfortable that you have no choice but to step up and choose more. And so let me make it clear, like, the moment you choose to change or you step into change, discomfort will show up, okay? And a lot of doubt will also creep in. And we all then would want to sort of go back to what's familiar, right? But the discomfort isn't the red flag. It's actually a sign that you're growing, okay? And this discomfort is actually reminding you that the tension that you feel when you push yourself um, isn't the proof that you're failing. It's the proof that you're changing. Okay. So yes, these calls and these things will invite you to be really, really just like uncomfortable because it will be pushing you beyond your limits, beyond what you would have even thought possible. And how does it get any better? Right? That's when they say, right, that kya aage jeet hai. So that's what it's going to be. Now, the sixth point is you become what you repeat. Okay. So, like this particular lesson, you become what you repeat. It's simple, but it's also brutal. Okay. And I'm going to drive it in with absolute clarity. You don't become what you want, you become what you do every day. So, if you want to be disciplined, but always keep on procrastinating, your identity will align to the procrastination. Okay. And then you'll wonder why things are not showing up. Even though I want to do all these things, why am I not able to achieve it? And what is it that's stopping me? Okay. So if you want confidence, but keep constantly doubting yourself, that doubt solidifies who you believe you are. As I mentioned earlier, right? People see you, and the first thing they notice about you is the essence of you, where about how you see yourself as, right? So if you're constantly doubting yourself, if you constantly feel like an imposter, thinking, I've not been able to change things in my life, how can I contribute to anybody else? A lot of us go through that, right? But what you need to know is, you've not had the kind of a mentor or somebody behind you who will tell you constantly that I trust you and I know you can create and achieve it. And everyone needs a little backing, right? So most of us are constantly doubting ourselves. So that is what the clients tend to pick up. Okay. So ask, like, there's a question that you can ask: what am I reinforcing with my habits? Because whether you realize it or not, every action is casting a vote for the person that you're becoming. And is this what you'd like to become? What is it that you really truly like to choose? And I'll give a simple example. Like, you'll come across a lot of people and who will be like, I would really love to lose weight. And I don't care how it shows up, I'll do anything. But I'm choosing to lose weight. But then actually they're not doing anything. All they're looking for is a pill to take or some shortcut method, some injection or something, or Ozempic, and say, okay, cool. You know, that's the easy way to lose weight. But are they even going for walk? Are they controlling their diet? Are they even being mindful? Right? They're not making any of those changes, yet wanting things. So that is what this is about. You can't sit at home um, just thinking that this is what I'd like to achieve. It's about also the action required. And sometimes, even like one of the articles I had written where earlier I used to be really shy of public speaking and showing up in public and stuff and interacting with so many people. And I would literally stand in front of the mirror and imagine that I'm talking to a whole, stadium full of people. And I would just talk, I would say whatever and stuff. And it was that constant, just being that energy constantly, um, which started suddenly it started becoming so easy for me to just be there in public and talk to people, right? So it is just that. It's just a habit. It's what you choose to show up as constantly. You become what you repeat. Okay. So now the seventh point. So there are only 8 points. Okay. So 7 point is the stories that you tell yourself, which you shape the reality. Now, we all have narratives running in our heads, right? I'm not good enough. I'm too old to start over. I always mess things up. Now, but are you this really? Sometimes, you look at people and you perceive a lot of judgment. What you don't realize is that most of the time you're perceiving what those guys are judging themselves for. And you think those judgments belong to you, and you think this is how they're seeing me. Not really. Okay. So a lot of times, most of us are going out there choosing and being so much more, and you have no idea who you're inspiring by literally by being you, by choosing to so many things that you're choosing, right? So these mentorship calls will not just tell you to think positive. You will literally be challenged to examine where these stories come from. So when you say, okay, I want to do this, but I'm not able to do this, I want to create a big office, but that's not possible. These are just stories, and most of these stories are not even ours. Okay. They were literally handed down by parents, by experiences, by past failures. So this when I was going through this and I was like, okay, wow, it really hit me hard. Like, how many of my own limitations exist only because I've been repeating them to myself. So when you become present to that, with all those things that you're looking at and seeing and thinking that these are my limitations, or these are this, I can't achieve this. Even if I want to, there's just no way I can achieve this. Is it truly yours? Or is it just some stories that you've been constantly repeating? So become really present with that, and that's when things will start shifting and changing. And I'll give you an example. A lot of people tend to create a lot of issues with, let's take for example, money, and they'll be like, how is it possible to get money? Like, paise पेड़ पे नहीं उठते हैं and all that. Okay. Now, so long back, I mean, I think I just about got into access at that time. And I remember I was walking on the terrace with my husband, and he's like, I really would love to own a farmhouse, but where is the money? And I was like, that's not your problem. Whether you have the money or not, just ask for it. He's like, what do you mean ask for it? End of the day, you require money to be able to purchase a farmhouse, right? How will you just do that? And I said, again, that's not your problem. Just ask for it. So he just looked up at the sky and was like, universe, I'd really, truly love to have a farmhouse of my own, a place where I can have a beautiful house and grow, veggies and flowers and trees and fruit trees and all. And I would really love to own a place like that. What will it take? Please allow that to show up. And he just said that with no point of view. He said it because I was asking him to. And he said it also because he truly wanted it, but not that he believed or anything, but he just said it, okay, without being vested in the outcome. And then he was traveling, and meanwhile, um, a friend of mine put out an ad on Facebook. Her parents owned one part of the hill in Kunur, and she put it out, and she was like, okay, my parents, and they used to do floriculture there, and they were getting old, they were retired armed forces people, and they were like not able to handle it anymore. So they said, okay, let's just break it down into plots and sell it off and create a beautiful community there. And now, I stayed in Kunur as a child. My dad was posted there. Um, so I was just 4 year old, but I still remember the magic of that land. And it's a beautiful land. And even the flowers and all, it really grow big and beautiful stuff. And, like where beams of light come, something like that. That land is beautiful and magical. And when my husband got back from his trip and I told him, see, this is available, and he got in touch with that friend. And I kid you not, he left that same day for Kunu because my friend was already there. And I couldn't go because my kids had their exams and everything. So he went. And then when he saw that place, he's like, this is so beautiful. We are choosing this. And he's like, I'm going to take loan and we'll manage, but we are taking this. We are signing up for this. So we signed up for it. Now we didn't realize that for land, nobody gives you loan. The banks don't give you loan for land. Okay, they give you land loan only for they loan you money only for buildings. And we were like, oh my god, now what do we do? So because we knew, like my friend's father knew my husband, he's like, you know what? Don't worry, you can just keep giving me a certain amount every month, and it's all yours. So literally a huge chunk of my husband's salary used to go every month to paying off for the land. And in less than a year, we owned that land. We went to get it registered and everything. So if you keep thinking, how is it possible? You don't have the money. How will you manage that? Everything opens up. The pathways open up. So you don't have to decide or tell yourself stories that this is not possible. You just have to step into that choice and say, I don't care how it shows up. I am choosing this universe, make it happen. So for creating anything, you need to literally have that demand in your world. I don't care whether I have the money or not. I'm choosing this universe, make this happen. And that's when things start shifting and changing. And the last point that I'd like to share with you, the eighth point, is we owe it to ourselves to try. And we literally owe it to ourselves to try. Okay. Like this particular line was literally that gut punch that I didn't see coming. We always talk about the fear of failure, but what if we flip it? What about the fear of never trying? What about the regret of looking back and wondering what could have been or what would have been? So let me make it clear. Your dreams, your ideas, your desires, they exist for a reason. They're not random. And if you never attempt them, you're literally robbing yourself of the life that you could have had. So I'll advise you to just pause and just sit with it, because at the end of the day, the only real failure is not showing up for your own life. And this business mentorship is going to be pushing you, cajoling you, throwing you off the cliff, pushing you off the cliff, doing whatever to make you realize and go ahead, for you to trust yourself and go ahead and achieve your dreams and all that it is that you're looking forward to. So whether it is challenges with relationships or in your business or money flows or health or whatever, we will be discussing everything because everything is interlinked and that's what will start showing up. Cool. Now, any of you have any questions? I don't see any chat written anywhere. You can unmute and ask a question or raise your hand. If any one of you have any questions. Why is everyone so quiet? Yes. Yes, go ahead. Chirag.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Chirag. How are you?
All good, ma'am. Hope you are also good.
Yes, I'm good.
Ma'am, I had a question that I am into business of silver jewelry. I'm a wholesaler,
Okay.
and after my school days, after 2013, I learned different healing modalities. But
Okay.
since that time period, 2013, I have never charged money for that because I feel certain kind of hesitation.
Okay.
And because of that, I get drained and I feel that I should not do that because I'm not getting anything.
So why are you not charging? Like why are you hesitating?
After what happens if a person asks me for healing, I'll do. And then when that person will offer me money, I will just say blunt no, that no, that's okay. I will act that kind of way. I don't
Yeah,
know
but
why.
you don't know why? Okay, you always know. How much are you actually thinking that this is going to contribute to them, so it's okay for me to just not charge and sometimes when you decide that those guys cannot pay me enough, then you will not charge them. But are you even honoring yourself? Because if you're not honoring yourself, it's going to drain you really, really badly. There were times when I would do a lot of free calls, and because I thought I was just contributing, but it used to really drain me. And then I was like, okay, hold on. I can offer it once in a while, but I don't have to make it a habit. And because your innate habit or capacity is to just sort of just give. But what about receiving? So where are you hesitating receiving? And what will happen if you charge? What will happen? What will they think? Are you scared of judgment?
Majority
Are you scared of
judgment, and also maybe there might be some kind of relationship problem with them because the people who with whom I have relationships in family or friends, only they come to me or they have come to me. So there might be some kind of relationship issue if I do so. That's what I feel. So I
so
never did that.
if they're not willing to honor you, is it even worth maintaining a relationship with them?
Not
Not
at all.
really. Not really, right? So what needs to change here? For something to change, you need to actually be able to perceive and acknowledge who you are, what is going to be fun for you, and just charge based on that. So today onwards, you can just say, okay, you can send a message to all your relatives and friends or whoever it is that you're healing constantly without being paid for it. Just say, hey guys, now things are changing. From now onwards, these are the rates that I offer for this healing. This is what my charges are. For 1 hour, this much. For half an hour, this much, and whatever. And you're most welcome to choose based on this. And thank you for honoring me. And leave it at that. And now it's their choice. So when they come to you, suppose some relative comes to you and says, I need Chirag, I need to be healed and all. Just say, okay, hi, let me send you the package that I have. And you have the option to sign up for 10 packages, 10 healing sessions in one package, or you can just go ahead with one healing session, whatever. These are the pricing. And let me know what you'd like to choose. Which one of these are you looking to choose? And I like to be paid in advance. And just maintain that. I know a lot of people might move away, but then that's okay. You have to be willing to lose people because um, when you start choosing you, a lot of people move away. But those people who move away were not really your well wishers, anyways. So it's okay. It's like suddenly you start seeing people for what they are. As
Yes.
long as you're useful for them, as long as they can pile on to you, it's fine. But the moment you start making demands and choosing more of yourself, they will move away, and that's okay. It's okay to lose people. It's okay to let them. Okay,
Yes.
but if there's anything each one of you could take back from this call today is learning to choose yourself, where you can be there for people, do things for them, but without sidelining yourself. Please
Yeah.
include yourself with everything, right? Irrespective
Yeah.
of anything else. Always choose to include yourself. That is the most important thing. And in fact, you can even create a screensaver with where on your for your phone, which where it says "choose you," which is a constant reminder, like no matter what, I'm going to choose myself. And also, choosing for you does not mean you have to choose. You're choosing against others. Choosing for you is about acknowledging that no matter what, I'm going to have my back and I will take up for myself. Okay. And if somebody else is unhappy with that, then too bad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
You're welcome. Yes, Tarun.
Just a second. I can't see you. I think I immediately lost you after this. You took my name.
You can't see me?
I think, yeah, now I can see you. Yeah. Hi.
All right.
A few questions
Yes.
regarding these choices. So, like, I'm not able to take the bigger choices on my own. Somebody has to push me. Like, I have to do something. I'll call somebody, should I do it or not? And if I'm taking some, and there are certain times when I'm able to take the bigger choices, like to choose the bigger courses also. And then I have a fear of all my money will get over. Like, if I'm choosing these big classes, my money will get over. I will lose the confidence. I will not lose the confidence, but जो मैं शेकी झाड़ता हूँ दुनिया में, I'll just show up, okay, okay, करना है. That will stop because I'm living on life very comfortably because of the money. And फिर मुझे लगता है कि एक टाइम जब मैं I create good amount of money, then I stop creating it. जब तक वो खत्म नहीं हो जाए, जब तक वो मेरा नहीं आ जाता, तो I am not creating money for myself. Like if I'm making 5 lakh rupees, जब तक वो 2 लाख रुपए नहीं हो जाएंगे, I will not think about creating more. Things like that happens to me. And
Also,
also, uh, one more thing. Also not taking the bigger choices and creating the website. मुझे लग रहा था कि if I'm creating a big website जिसमें मैं सारी और recordings like that what do we call where we sell things and मैंने कहा जनरल इन्फॉर्मेशन वाली वेबसाइट लगा दे तो वो सब करेगा, बहुत तामझाम हो जाएगा, बहुत काम करना पड़ेगा मुझे, नॉट रेडी फॉर दिस. तो these are the things where I'm not able to take the bigger choices. Even if I have the money, I'm not taking it out of the fear it'll get over and not choosing greater because it'll
but
push.
but if I ask you or invite you to look at nature,
Hmm.
do you see that one tree? If you look at one tree, does it have just one leaf or two leaves or three leaves? It has millions of leaves, right? If you look at the stars in the sky, there are millions, billions of stars. If you look at anything, if you look at nature, it is just so, there's just so much of abundance in nature. There's no lack. So where have you decided that if I spend this money, I will not be able to, I'll be left with nothing? What if you can keep the money that you have and keep asking for more to start showing up too? Also, with each of these classes and courses that you're choosing, isn't it giving you more of you?
Yeah, the more
Right?
money keeps showing up to me, and then again I become stingy. Like I'll spend on small things like छोटा खर्च कर दूंगा. I'll be happy. Bigger करने में मुझे कभी कभी कर दूंगा. It's not कि I'll not do it, but sometimes I will do. I'm motivated. I will do it.
See,
And
point of view will create a reality. So you need to be very aware. If you think you'll be just choosing small things and that's going to be enough, that's okay. That's again, that's something that you're choosing. There's no right or wrong about it. But what is it that's really truly going to contribute to you? Ask from that space. And what if you had if you had $1 million at the beginning of every year, the first January of every year, if you had $100 million, which you just gifted to you, what will you do? What will you do with it? That's a home play for each one of you. Ask yourself this question and see what it is that you truly like to do. And what shows up is an explanation that I conduct mostly in the class. But so at this moment, I'll just leave you with that home play. Like ask, because it'll make you really present to the fact that there are a lot of things that you would want to choose, but you're not choosing because there's not enough money for it. But money, most of us wait for money to show up before we can choose something. That does not really create, right? The money shows up the moment you start making a choice. The moment you choose something, the money just shows up. Automatically, it will show up. Don't wait for money to show up before you choose. You have to go ahead and choose, and the money just shows up. Okay, just know that. It's like when you look at, sometimes suppose you're planning a trip with your friends and you're really looking forward to it. And when the money and you're not sure where the money will come from, but you're really looking forward for that, maybe your world trip with your friends and all, because you want it badly enough, because you're choosing it, the money somehow or the other, you'll be able to create money. Automatically, aa jata hai na? Trust that. And then also look at what energy are you being when this shows up. And you'll realize things start shifting and changing. That's the energy with which you need to really make all your demands. And trust yourself. And it's something, if you're willing to follow the energy, things start opening up more easily. Pathways start opening up. Sometimes, there is most of us really are demanding something. We know there is so much more to be and do and achieve and create, right? But we keep thinking, how will we do that? But there is something. Sometimes you don't even you're not even able to describe what it is that you'd like to achieve and create. But there's an energy that you're aware of. And anything that matches that energy, just keep choosing that. Like even with me in Access, I was just literally following an energy. I just knew I had to do this class. I just knew I had to do this next thing. I just knew I had to be a CF. I just kept on choosing it, slowly. And whether I had the money or not, I just kept choosing it, and the money used to show up. People who didn't even know me, people from different states would show up to attend classes with me. And I used to be like, where did you even hear about me from? Like that time, Zoom call and all were not even that prevalent, right? But when, like, there is a saying, right? When there's a will, there's a way. That's what it is. You just have to keep choosing and trust that you will create more. Don't ever feel that, oh, I'm depleting all my resources. Depleting your resources is a choice you're making, because somewhere you've decided you can't get better than that. Things can't get better. Right? But when you trust yourself, you know that no matter what, I will create. Suppose you lose everything, what will happen? What will happen if you lose everything? All your money, everything you lose, what will happen?
So that's what I'm a bit of image conscious. I'll lose my image in front of my family, and even I'm very scared that if I lose my EMI, my credit score will go down. Then I will not I will carry certain kind of image. So I'm very image conscious. So that I'll
Okay.
lose my image. That's what. Otherwise, I'll not lose food. I will have food anyways. But that
So, talking about image, I will not go into that right now, but I would highly recommend attending a Right Voice for You class. Like, really, really highly recommend, because we talk a lot about image in that class. So, there's a class coming up with Mr. Christopher Hughes next week. And yeah, see if you'd like to choose that. Coming back to what will happen, this is a general question for each one of you. What will happen if you lose everything? You will create again, right from the scratch. It's not that you will just be left with nothing. When you trust yourself, you will create more. Things will start showing up. A lot of things will start opening up. And sometimes you will bounce back even, much better way. So trust yourself and know that you'll be able to create. Okay?
apart from attending the class, what can you suggest about this losing the
So
image?
what's the value of holding an image? So image is something where you're pretending to be something, and is that contributing to you? You are trying to live based on how certain people need to see you for you to think well about yourself. But when you own, claim, and acknowledge all that you are, people will anyway see you for that, right? What's the point pretending to be something that you're not? Just to maintain an image. Image is just a judgment that where you want others to judge you in a particular way, and that's not really helping you. It's actually keeping you captive. Okay, So just be present with that and see, okay, if I was truly being myself, what magic can I be and do and choose for myself? And when you also ask yourself, who am I being here? Sometimes you realize you're just being maybe your dad or some relative or a sibling or one of the parents, right? Who have lived constantly with a particular image. So you try to match up or be that energy. What needs to change? Okay, cool. I'll move on to the next person. I think Tanuja. Where is Tanuja?
Yeah, Usha. I just
Usha.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I just wanted to ask about the time. Yeah, sometimes we think about the time has passed by, so what to create next, you know. So what happened in the past is coming to this reality, and then thinking about uh, what next to create, it takes a longer time for us. So, what question can we ask here so that it is easy for us to create more? You know? Like,
So basically, just be present and ask, universe, show me infinite possibilities. What is it that truly, what can I, what talents and abilities do I have that are not yet acknowledged? That if I were to own, claim, and acknowledge, would open up a whole new world of possibilities and numerous revenue streams for me. And everything that doesn't allow that, times will conciliate. Will you all destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, for all 100 shots. Voice, forward, spaces, creations, and beyonds. So ask for that and see.
thank you.
So sometimes, and then if you did not make time that relevant, what magic can you step into? If you did not have to look at your past and think, oh, I've allowed so much time to pass and I've not really created anything. If you allowed yourself to get out of judgment, what magic can you step into? Ask for that to show up, right? The person who created this, oh gosh, I forget the name. It's a, oh no, it's a chicken, this thing, I forget the name. Anyways, he started it.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky Fried, KFC, yeah, KFC. He started his business at 56 years of age. And now he has like so many branches everywhere. Do you get it? He started when he was 56 years old. And if you look at J.K. Rowling, she wrote the book when she was about 45. So time is not really relevant. It's what you'd like to choose to be and do and create now. What is it that is really looking to be created by you? Ask for that to keep showing up. Be in that question constantly. Universe, show me. What am I so capable of creating? What am I unwilling to step into? Cool. All right. Tanuja?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So right at this moment, like, I'm just living, not me, actually, all of us are just living with some fears.
Okay. What
Since
fear?
morning. Yeah. Actually, there are so many news in the local channels, that there is a very big earthquake, coming in the end of this month or in the first week of September. Earthquake at, they've also mentioned that 8.7 Richter scale. And in Assam, actually, I think you have heard about the Sivsagar floods.
Mhm.
The situation is not at all good here. And I don't know why. Probably I must have, bide this, and there is so much fear. So I also, got my bars done today, and I was not, having ease with my body. Like,
Fear
I'm
belong
not.
to you?
Pardon?
Does that fear belong to you?
This fear doesn't belong to me. I have done a lot of clearings, but still, I just, I'm just thinking, what if, if I die tomorrow? Not only me, I'm just thinking, like, will we be able to survive? So,
Okay, what will happen if you die tomorrow? What will happen?
everything will be finished.
Okay, what will happen then? Is it something that you can control?
No.
You can become aware of what's going on with the earth and you can contribute to the earth. You know how to do that. You've been in
Yeah,
access
yeah.
for a while. Do that.
Exactly.
And if you become aware of all the fear in other people's universes, what force can you be and what space can you be to hold for those people where they get to choose something different for themselves? What space of possibility can you be for them? Okay, so you have two choices, either to give into the fear and just pummel down the, like just fall, or you say, okay, cool, fine, it's interesting, this is showing up, but what do we have to be and do to outcreate this? So when you're looking at the collective consciousness of people and things, what force can you be to change that collective consciousness to remove the fear and lead people to more space of empowering and knowing that their choices are more uh, is the fact that they can choose more for themselves, right?
Can you just repeat this? What force can I be?
What force can you be to invite people to more possibilities, to be a force to reckon with? They don't have to give in to all the fears, right? What space can you hold for them to empower them enough to know that they have a different choice? Just because, let's say, for example, just because somebody is wishing bad for you doesn't mean you have to sit like that and wait for whatever their bad intentions are to affect you, right? You have a choice. You don't have to take on those bad intentions or whatever. Do you get it? So it's just that, like, just because something is showing up doesn't mean you have to just be there and say, oh, and resign to the fact. If you are aware of it, you can just say, okay, what do I have to be and do to outcreate this? Universe, show me. What will it take? You can actually energetically connect with the nature and say, what will it take for us to have the people in this area to have ease with this? Ask for that. Like you have a lot of access tools. Just be that energy. No more shrinking yourself, just being everything you are to invite people to more possibilities. Right? And there's nothing that collective consciousness cannot change. So be that energy, be that invitation, inspire people into choosing more.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Hi.
Awesome. Yes, Seema.
Hi, Smriti.
Hi.
So, while you were facilitating, Tarun, you said that don't think that you don't have money, that make a choice and let the money show up, right? So today I was reading the messages in your group and Deepa had commented that this is my third fast track your business class. So
Yeah.
instantly instant thought came into my mind कि इसके पास बहुत पैसा है. Okay.
Okay.
And then I realized that I still have a point of view that you have to have money to buy something.
Okay.
So it's almost like an autopilot. Like the moment something I have to buy something, mine will go into do I have the money or I don't have the money.
Okay. So what's your question here?
The question is how to get off this autopilot.
So does that autopilot belong to you? Who are you being?
Hmm. Yeah, maybe the people of this reality.
Yeah. And where have you decided this one can, if you stop to look at the fact that she's choosing it for the third time, speaks more about the level of change these calls have been creating for her. If you look at her journey, she has been choosing consistently, so dynamically, so much more she has created right now. Right? It is just a choice of stepping into something. And if money was not the issue, what would you choose? If there's an energy, if there's something calling out, just step into that. The money will show up, everything will show up, pathways open up, right? But if you make money a relevant thing, so that, okay, only when there is money, only then I will choose it, that's not, uh, that's tying you down. It's just keeping you stuck in that same rut that, that you're not able to get out of. It's just going to keep you captive there only. So if
Yeah,
you're
but that
really,
thing comes up automatically. Like there is some past evidence also. Like I have done so many access classes. I have been a CF. So every time I wanted to attend a class, money just didn't show up. Like I had to like whatever from my salary or whatever. So the
you know,
mind goes into that it doesn't show up like that. You choose a class and then the money shows up.
it does. And I'm a living example for that. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I chose things just like that, where I
What is the
didn't have,
difference in that space? The
where
space that
where I didn't have money, but I was like, I don't care, I'm really choosing this. And the moment I would make that choice, the money would show up from wherever possible, it would show up. And I can give you examples which I might have repeated so many times in so many of my calls, where the demand was still there. I did not give up on it. Whether I had the money or not, I was choosing things. It's like, I remember I had to go for the mind. I'm just giving a couple of examples. So for you to just be present with it and see that, end of the day, it's that demand in your world which allows things to show up, which makes magic happen. So I had to go for a maestro class. This is long back, and I did not have enough money for that class. I mean, I had paid for the flight tickets and the hotel, and I had managed to create enough money for the class, but I did not have enough money to sustain myself in Rome, right? Uh, the taxi fares, food, and all of that. I was falling short of like I think about a lakh or something. And I'm due to travel. Like I was supposed to leave home at 2 o'clock. Till 10 o'clock, I still did not have enough money. Okay. But my bags were ready and packed, and I was choosing to go on that flight. And I had decided whether I have the money or not, I'm attending this class. And if I'm going to go there and I'm going to request them that if I can pay a certain amount a little later. And if they don't agree to it, then I was like, I will survive by just eating an apple a day, but I am choosing this class and I am going. So there was no doubt about that. Okay. And the moment, so you start getting worried, okay, there's no money, not enough money. So every time I would get worried, I would just say, okay, how does it get any better than this? What else is possible? How does it get any better than this? And I kid you not, literally there was a message on my phone saying 1 lakh has been transferred. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. So I called up my friend because her name was there. I said, what made you just send me money like that? And thank you so much. Like I really, really needed it. But suddenly out of the blue, how did you just decide to send me money like that? She just said, Smriti, I met you last month, and I remember you telling me that you will be traveling to Rome on this date. And I also remember you telling me that maybe you might not be able to create enough for the class. So you see, my point of view was creating my reality because I had already decided that I might not, because the class is expensive, I might not be able to create that much. So I was already leading to it, not creating enough because I had a point of view. So I told her, thank you so much. And I was like, okay, I just have this 80,000 that I need to deposit. I had a check and some cash. I said, I'm just going to the bank right now and I will deposit and then I'm sorted. And she said, but today is Ganesh Chaturthi and all the banks are shut right now. And I was like, oh my God, now what do I do? And before I could ask her, she just said, there's somebody at the door, I'll just call you back. And guess what she did? She transferred another lakh to my account. And then I called her up. I said, what's going on? You're just transferring money to my account. She said, Sriti, I would have offered to deposit the cash and the check at the bank, but I'm really caught up. I won't have the time. But you go ahead, enjoy your trip, and when you come back, you can always pay me back. And I mean, literally, it was just so easy. So, and did I know that the money will come from her? No. But what kept me going was that choice that I don't care whether I have the money or not, I am choosing this. Make it happen, universe. And the universe always, always, always falls in love with a heart, with a stubborn heart who chooses not to give up. The money will show up, whichever way. And I've had so many of these instances. Once I was in Paris attending a talk to the entity CF, and I also wanted to attend the Being You CF, but I didn't have the money for that. And I spoke to my friend who I was sharing the room with. She was another facilitator, and I was like, please, I need you to facilitate me. And she's like, what do you want? I said, I really want to attend the BYCF training, but I don't have the money for it. And so she just asked me one question. She's like, Swati, if money was not the issue, what would you choose? And I was like, I would just choose this. Being You certified facilitator training, I would just choose that. And then I was like, universe, I don't care if I have the money or not, I am choosing this. And again, I kid you not, in the morning when we were walking towards the talk to the entity CF training, we were walking to the venue, and again I received my message on my phone that some money had been transferred. Basically, it was some FD that my dad had said. He had shut one of my accounts which I had when I was in 12th standard. I remember him taking some signatures and stuff. So that money had got transferred to my account. And I was like, and I had no clue that there was some FD also. I had no clue, but the money just showed up. So, even if you don't know where the money will come from, you just have to choose. That's when things start showing up. And the moment you go into, oh my God, if I've spent so much now, oh my God. The moment you go into that lack, or I've lost money, or things are not enough, there is not enough, then that is what you're giving energy to, and that's what you start creating for yourself. Trust yourself and know that you will continuously keep creating. And sometimes it is very uncomfortable because you have to push yourself beyond your comfort zone to create. And a lot of us have not really had an easy journey with this, but the only thing, at least I can speak for myself, the only thing that has kept me going is not giving up. Literally not giving up. And I think you've seen my journey too, Seema, for a while now. It is just where when you choose not to give up, then and you choose to trust yourself, then everything works to make that happen for you. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any question, or we can end the call? Any last question? Anyone?
Can you repeat again the infinite possibilities and all that?
I don't really remember, but maybe I will be giving out the recording for this. So
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, because that was in the flow of the moment. But I will just leave you with one parting shot, which is the universe always, always, always falls in love with a stubborn heart who chooses not to give up. And literally, you owe it to yourself to choose to be everything that you desire to be, to give it a try and not give up anything because there's not enough money. You will create money, you will make things happen. Just trust yourself and show up. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much, guys. And I look forward to seeing you on some other call.
Are we going to get the recording for this?
Yes. So how do I give you the recording? I will put it up on my YouTube this thing, and I'll send the link on all the groups. Or you can just reach out to me and I'll send it to you. I wasn't planning to give the recording, but yeah, what else is possible? Cool. Thank you so much. Truly grateful for each one of you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Smriti.
You're welcome.